Just ahead on CTV News, the Green family is calling for a DOJ investigation.
I will be reaching out to the DOJ with everything in my soul to make sure that they prosecute this man. Anybody I can file a complaint with, anybody that can investigate her, I will make sure they investigate her office.
Plus, Metro is facing budget cuts, and another county school is making it easier for students to read. That and more coming up next on CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Taylor Thomas with a CTV News update. The family of a man killed by Prince George's County police officer wants the state's attorney's office investigated after the officer was found not guilty. Last week, a jury acquitted Michael Owen of second-degree murder and of all other charges against him in the fatal shooting of William Green, who was handcuffed in his cruiser in January of 2020. Green's family wants the U.S. Department of Justice to investigate his death and Brave Boy's office for how they prosecuted the case. At a rally, the family says that Brave Boy blamed Green, his family, and the judge for the not guilty verdict.
This verdict had absolutely nothing to do with our family not accepting a as plea deal that you offered this man. It has nothing to do with the judge rejecting that plea deal. And it definitely had nothing to do with the police investigation, because the police handed you this case. Michael Owen handed you this case. But what I'm finding out is the comfort that he felt firing 7 shots at my cousin is the same comfort she felt coming out here and placing the blame on us for her errors in this trial.
I never even mentioned the family. I was asked by a reporter about the plea deal. I didn't even bring up the plea deal, as you recall. A reporter asked me about it, and I mentioned that, yes, there was a plea deal. It was not accepted by the court. I mentioned nothing about the family. The outcome wasn't what we wanted, but we are satisfied with the way that our office handled the case.
The Green family is also asking Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown to investigate how the state's attorney's office has handled all cases under Aisha Braveboy. It's 55 years behind bars for a New Carrollton man convicted of attempted murder in connection with a gang rivalry. Investigators say 26-year-old Amos Raphael is a member of the 23rd Street Crew operating out of the Temple Hills area. They say on June 2nd of 2022, Raphael's gang targeted a member of a rival gang known as the 28th Street Crew. That victim was riding in an Uber vehicle when the shots rang out, striking the victim numerous times. Nearby apartments were also hit by multiple times as well.
Responding officers did see a suspect vehicle fleeing at a high rate of speed. We did have one person who was shot. As he said, he was critically injured, but he was not that bad off. We rendered aid to him, secured the crime scene. When responding officers saw that car flee, they gave chase to it. It was an improved car chase by our patrol commander. They did end up wrecking at the corner of St. Barnabas Road and Stamp Road. 4 occupants bailed out. We were able to apprehend 1, and we're still investigating the other 3. We recovered 4 guns in this, a handgun and 4 assault rifles. And like was stated earlier, there's so many rounds that were fired that we're standing here talking about, an intent murder only because we were lucky enough that none of those other rounds struck anybody else. There was a lot of windows and walls and doors that were damaged, and it's unfortunate because when these crimes happen, there's no forethought to what's going to go on around and what the consequences could be.
Investigators say the Uber driver and another passenger were also injured but not shot. A school bus carrying 23 students was involved in a fiery crash this morning along the Beltway. The crash was reported around 10 a.m. on the outer loop of I-495 near Ritchie Marlboro Road in Upper Marlboro. Officials say a vehicle rear-ended the bus and both sustained fire damage. No injuries were reported. The cause of the accident is still under investigation. 5 Prince George's teens are among 10 charged in a slew of armed carjacking conspiracies. In 2 incidents, the U.S. Department of Justice alleges that separate carjacking rings held victims in D.C. and Maryland at gunpoint, stole their vehicles, and then sold them. The defendants are allegedly responsible for at least a dozen incidents, including one that left a rideshare driver seriously injured, including among those charged is 19-year-old Jakai Goff, that is, as well as Byron Gilliam, Isaiah Flowers, Taj Giles, and Irshad Ellis Bey, all of whom are 18 years old.
Our message to would-be carjackers is that the crime you are committing is a federal offense with significant penalties. And even if you are not the one who brandished a gun or got behind the wheel of a carjacked vehicle, you can still be charged with carjacking for conspiring with someone who did. Make no mistake, no matter what their role in an armed carjacking, the FBI and our partners will not hesitate to use every one of our authorities to bring justice to the perpetrators of these abhorrent crimes.
Whoever's telling you that these carjacked vehicles are free cars, that there won't be consequences if you're caught, that you won't get caught if you're wearing a mask, is lying to you.
The defendants remain in custody and face up to 15 years in prison for each carjacking charge. One man is dead following an early morning pedestrian crash in Camp Springs today. Police responded to the 5,000 block of Branch Avenue around 3 a.m. When officers arrived, they found an adult male in the roadway. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Police say the driver of the striking vehicle remained on the scene. Anyone with information on this incident is asked to contact police at 1-866-411-TIPS. The first black leader of the University of Maryland has died. Dr. John Brooks Slaughter was the former chancellor of the College Park campus, as well as the first black director of the National Science Foundation. Slaughter was a strong advocate for equity and inclusion, expanding minority faculty hiring and retention. In 1987, he was selected for the first U.S. Black Engineer of the Year award. Slaughter was 89 years old. Students at William Paca Elementary School in Landover have a lot to celebrate today. They are now the second school in the county to receive a book vending machine. The donation was a gift from Geico and the Prince George's County Alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. It's a gift that keeps giving, says the school's principal.
We know that literacy starts at the elementary level. If students are not literate when they leave elementary school, we will see it in middle and high school. It's like building a house. This is the foundation. And you can't put a roof on a house and it stands if the foundation is not solid. And that starts in elementary school.
William Pack Elementary is a PBIS school, which stands for Positive Behavior Intervention Support. Students are given coins based on their behavior to purchase a book of their choice. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. After the break, Metro is proposing major cuts and University of Maryland students get a little stress relief. Those stories and more, don't go away.
Dear Santa, this may sound a little funny, but this year, I don't want any games or toys for Christmas. This year, the only thing I want for Christmas is for kids to get the help they need. People who support Shriners Hospital through Children, their support help Destiny have the ability to walk. Kids like Katie can run and play. And it helps Alec have a life filled with hope and opportunity. Their support allows the doctors and nurses at Shriners Hospitals to give the most amazing care that changes the lives of kids like me. People who support Shriners Hospital through Children is all I want for Christmas this year. This Christmas, all you have to do is go to loveshriners.org right now.
Welcome back. Metro is proposing some serious changes, including major service cuts and fare increases. In the 2025 fiscal year budget, Metro General Manager and CEO Randy Clark says Metro is facing a funding shortfall of $750 million. The deficit equals to more than 25% of the operating budget. The cuts include laying off over 2,000 full-time workers, getting rid of 67 bus lines, shutting down 10 Metro stations, and closing the entire rail system at 10 p.m. Fares and parking fees are also expected to go up by 20%. Experts are urging Maryland residents to get vaccinated ahead of holiday travel. The CDC says everyone ages 6 months and older should get vaccinated for COVID-19 to prevent hospitalization. Vaccine for sicknesses like the flu can take 2 to 3 weeks to take effect, so the sooner the better. The Maryland Department of Health reported an average of just over 300 daily hospitalizations from COVID this year, up from almost 250 last year. The University of Maryland is slated to renovate the new cultural centers in the Cofield House. The centers will be for Latino, Native American, multiracial, and Asian students, along with Pacific Islanders and students with disabilities. A university spokesperson says the effort is aimed at making U of MD more inclusive. The 5 separate centers will be placed in rooms next to each other inside the Cofield House and are expected to open in 2025. College final exams can be a stressful time for students as they study for their test and worry about their final grade. The nonprofit organization Pet on Wheels is hoping to help ease some of those emotions for students at the University of Maryland with a visit today at the Alpha Chi Omega Sorority House.
Event right now is like a de-stress event for the university and the sororities right now as they go into exams. So really the biggest thing for the dogs is just to bring joy, and that's what Pets on Wheels does.
It's a really fun way to get everyone together. Just everyone loves dogs, and it's a great way to de-stress as we go into final season, because this can be a very overwhelming time for girls. So it's just a couple hours for everyone to come together, whether or not you live in the house, and just relax, hopefully.
Pet on Wheels also visits veteran and retirement homes, schools, and hospitals to bring a smile to the face of people who are sick or feeling alone. Their collection of therapy pets includes parrots, rabbits, miniature horses, and even alpacas. Yesterday morning, snow delayed Prince George's County Public Schools by 2 hours, but the announcement was made after some students were already on the bus. Almost 20 buses were en route to school, including special education buses, which were forced to drop students back at home. Anger erupted on Twitter just after 6:30 when PGCTV alerted parents and students of the change. Many wondered why they weren't alerted sooner. It used to be after high tide or heavy rain like this past Sunday, area waterways would fill up with floatable trash, but much of that problem has been dramatically improved with the advent of stormwater management systems throughout Prince George's and its municipalities. EPA Regional Administrator Adam Ortiz says it's no accident that the county has much cleaner waterways.
On a day like this, we would see floating islands of disposable trash and empty soda and water bottles, and we see very few, if any. Prince George's has invested in trash traps among many small creeks along the way to capture floatable disposable trash like empty water bottles and wrappers from candy and stuff like that, and have controlled it. And also stormwater management. There's a lot of bioretention and rain gardens in this area that are also controlling pollution before it gets to our beautiful Anacostia River.
This is the 40th anniversary of the Chesapeake Bay program, which was created to improve the ecosystem of the estuaries and tributaries. Maryland renews several grant programs to promote solar energy and improve weatherization measures. The grant aimed to bring cleaner, cheaper, and more efficient energy to overburdened and underserved communities. The 2 programs are also expected to open job training opportunities for low to moderate income residents. More than $22 million in grants will be awarded to Maryland nonprofits and local governments to help with the installation process. Maryland military facilities begin remedial investigations into forever chemicals, according to Capitol News Service. A recent Department of Defense report identified hundreds of PFAS at military sites that can jeopardize drinking water supplies and groundwater. The 10 Maryland sites include Joint Base Andrews, home to Air Force One, and Fort Meade in Anne Arundel County. PFAS are chemicals found in firefighting foam, heat-resistant products, and many other items. And here's Simon Buggs with a preview of Tuesday's sports page.
What's going on, sports fans? And coming up on your Tuesday sports page, Wizards head coach Wes Unseld Jr. gives his thoughts on the team's struggles this season. That and more coming up in a bit. You don't want to miss it.
You gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. When you face a day that feels like you're gonna break, you gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. When you face a day that feels like you're gonna break, so lean on the ones that love you, the guardian angels above you, and think about when peace is just another color. Ooh, just another color. Just another color. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd.
Members of the Bowie State University Concert Choir are getting ready for tomorrow's performance of Handel's Messiah. The event will be a community sing-along concert, and all are invited to attend and sing along. A pre-performance mix and mingle reception starts at 7 o'clock at the Bowie State University Fine and Performing Arts Center. The performance is set for 7:30 in the Donnie Warwick Theater.
This year we have about 60 singers, in addition to that, 60 plus. And then we have a youth chorus of about 80 to 100 singers from DC, Prince George's County, Maryland, Virginia, Anne Arundel, as well as Montgomery County. So it's kind of a big deal because Messiah can kind of feel, I hate to say the word stuffy, but this is kind of Messiah with a twist. We're singing 4 of the choruses from the Messiah, the Hallelujah chorus, Hallelujah. Everybody's at least heard some of that. We are singing And the Glory, O Thou That Tellest, and Glory to God. Those are the 4 choruses. And then again, we'll have some other special twists in between that.
The sing-along is free and set for tomorrow night at 7:30.
Hey there, sports fans. We begin your Tuesday sports page with some NBA news. The Washington Wizards were in action yesterday as they took to court against the Philadelphia 76ers. But it seems as if Washington was no match for Philly as they were blown out by them 146 to 101. Washington has been struggling all season as they are currently 3-19. And head coach Wes Unseld Jr. is curious to see if his team can right the ship and start putting together some wins.
I'm sure guys are pissed. There's nobody in there that's happy right now. But once again, how do you manage that? Do you channel that into, into each other? Do you kind of help, all right, push each other to get better? Or do you just wallow in your own sorrows? We can't do that. So I think it's important that we take lessons and learn. Obviously, things aren't going our way right now, but we certainly can't feel sorry for ourselves. Nobody else does. So we got to find a way to pick each other up, keep pushing, learn from some of the mistakes and keep getting better.
Washington will try and get their 4th win of the season against the New Orleans Pelicans tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Moving on to the NFL, the Washington Commanders are coming off of a bye week and will try to capture their 5th win of the season against the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday. And head coach Ron Rivera is looking forward to the challenge ahead.
You'd love to see our guys, come out and really just play to their abilities, do the things that they're capable of. I think this is a very good challenge for us just because it is a team that is, fighting for their playoff life. And the big thing that, we have to do is just go out and play our game.
Kickoff is at 4:05. And wrapping up sports, the Washington Capitals have re-signed goalie prospect Clay Stevenson to a 3-year deal worth $2.3 million. The 24-year-old has put together 4 shutouts, a 1.7 goals against average, and a 93% save percentage in 13 games this season for the Caps affiliate, the Hershey Bears. And that is your Tuesday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
I'm Taylor Thomas. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. Good night.